Support for this show and all the others on the Marketing Podcast Network is provided by Memento. Yes, you can use AI to make your job as a marketer easier. Let me introduce you to Memento, the newest marketing partner of the Marketing Podcast Network. Memento is built to put the power of AI in your hands. It writes social media captions, it does your transcript, it does so much stuff, and it even finds moments, hence Memento, in your show that you can repurpose as audiograms and other great little videos and audio clips. Have it watch or listen to a podcast and suggest, then make automatically social media posts to promote the show. Heck, it can even listen to the podcast episode and write a poem if you want to use that in your company blog. It's AI after all. So go check it out. MPN listeners can try it free at bit.ly/momento MPN. It's bit.ly, bit.ly/momento MPN. Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I'm always Seth, so that has never changed, never will change. I know you guys are getting sick of me saying that, so I will keep saying it because it's just the way I am. Anyhow, today I have Adelaide Braddock, also known as Addie. I can't spell her name for the life of me. In LinkedIn, I keep looking it up and it never finds me, so I have to type Braddock in and I find her. It's easier. It's really not that hard, but anyhow. Addie is the CEO and co-founder of TripBee. We'll go into more what that is, but TripBee is essentially a way to plan your world excursions easily and in a more fun way than Excel. Don't tell my wife. She does everything in Excel and oh my God, a lot of stuff. So anyhow, let's bring Addie in here. Hey, Addie.
Hey. Hello.
Hello. What's up?
I'm not much. I'm well. I love that intro. I can never find her. It's like she's Braddock missing in action.
Well, it's so funny. It's really not that hard. It's ADE. Oh, it's E. Oh,
it's the E always trips everyone up.
Oh, the E. I always put Adelaide, not Adelaide.
Yeah. And everyone says like Adeline, Adelaida. Like, yeah, it's
Adelaida?
Which is fine. I don't mind. Adelaide is my middle name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aren't you fancy?
I am quite fancy. My first name is Sarah. I don't know. Everyone tells me it's Hebrew.
That's a Hebrew. It's biblical.
I'm like princess.
Seth is biblical. I'm the third
Seth
son of
is
Adam.
also biblical, yes.
Yeah, third son of
Adam.
Adam.
It's the same part of the Bible as the Torah, right? Like, so
exactly. It's the first. Oh, I'm such a bad.
I was raised Catholic. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm fine.
So TripBee.
Yes.
You are a world traveler. You are
a few times.
Exactly, a few times, and you're a recovering corporate person. Who got the heck out of that.
I lasted all of 6 months.
Oh, right. Lasted you 6 months. You're like, I don't like this. Oh, that's funny. And then you and your husband start TripBee because you guys have traveled the world and I'm sure have done the Excel spreadsheet fun
many times.
And you've like, there's got to be a better way. So
yes.
Tell us the lineage. Tell us like, your whole journey.
Okay.
Who is Addie?
Okay, I like this. Who is Addie?
And why do we care? No.
I'm a Gemini. I'm a monkey, depending on who you ask. Like there's, lots of interpretations there. Exactly. From the travel perspective, I've been traveling since I was days old. My dad's retired military, so I was born in Texas and like promptly moved to Germany. I think we had to stop in between in like Virginia or something. But my siblings were born all in different places. My sister was born in Germany. My brother was born in South Dakota. We lived there for a few years. Dad got a job with USAID. We moved to Pakistan in 1988. We were there until 89. Yeah. And let me tell you, that was a great and very awful year to live in Pakistan. For anyone who's like the history buffs, we moved there 5 days after their prime minister and the American attaché were killed in a supposed plane bombing. We're not really sure, like there's no official like what happened. But then Benazir Bhutto got elected while I was there. So that was insanely cool to watch.
I hear Pakistan's a pretty interesting country.
It's amazing.
It's gorgeous.
Is. Oh my, yes. Yes, I can't even, not for nothing. I mean, you hear so much in the news about what we see from the military perspective, and it is So not that. It is just beautiful. I mean, Karachi's like where we lived,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
down south. We're right on the water, but it's kinda dusty. I mean, it's a massive city. I think there's like 20 plus million people there now. Yeah, I will say it's a fascinating space because it's so different, but it's so the same to a lot of things.
Mhm.
I lived in China for 3.5 years, and I tell people, China's kind of literally and figuratively 180 degrees from everything because you're
Wow.
so
Yeah.
used to a certain way of life and certain expectations when you see food, you think it's going to taste a certain way, it's going to do a certain thing, but a lot of times, like at least in my experience when I was there, and that's bear in mind it's like 15 years ago now, but the food that I was eating that was like Western food was based off of pictures that people would get. So you're
But
getting stuff
that's sort of what Chinese food is here. What Chinese food is
oh,
even
for
even
sure.
even
Yeah.
Mexican food here is not Mexican food.
Yeah,
It's
depends on
Americanized.
where you go. Yeah, oh yeah,
I mean,
Tex-Mex
you can
sort of like,
get traditional Chinese food, but you have to go to Chinatown.
Lao does some great stuff over here in Philly, like, for
Oh, I
sure.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot to that experience of being in another country and taking the good with the bad, but sometimes it's like, okay, you think that it's gonna be really, really bad, and then you get there and you're just so pleasantly and overwhelmingly surprised. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all behave like humans, and we all
Yeah.
wanna be
Oh,
treated like humans. So you see that sort of experience when you get someplace and it's not what you saw, in the news, or
mm,
it's not what you saw
yeah.
in your mind's eye because, like, this is what you heard from stories from other people because
Yeah.
you didn't see it yourself, so, yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show. Support for this show and all the other shows on the Marketing Podcast Network is provided by Memento. If you have your own podcast, you know how hard it is to produce and get all the cool little clips out and all that stuff. Promoting is half the battle. What if you could upload your episode, video or audio, and have AI pull out all the best moments for you to use in social media? Well, you can with Memento. Upload the video or audio, review the recommended clips, click the couple of buttons, customize the colors, fonts, and hit save. Instantly, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, and LinkedIn posts all materialize before your eyes, all with video and audio embedded for dynamic promotions that drive people to the episode. And the AI kicks out show notes, even transcripts, and even social media captions. All you have to do is review and post them. Because you listen to this show, you get a free trial of Memento to test for yourself. Go to bit.ly/Memento MPN and sign up today. It's bit.ly, bit.ly/Memento MPN. So
Yeah.
then you've traveled the world, and then you had a brief stint in corporate America,
Yeah,
and,
very.
and, and said, "Screw this, I'm not doing this
No,
anymore." And
God.
then no, so what is the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind?
The best thing this is gonna sound so hokey. Are you ready for this?
Go
Are
Hokie.
you
Yeah,
proper ready?
we're all ready. We're all
Okay,
holding on to our
alright,
seats.
gird your
Let's go.
loins, here we go. It's my team.
I love it. Actually,
It's the people I work
no one's
with.
ever said that.
No, seriously?
Seriously, you're
Well,
the
that
first
would be a
one?
trope by now. Come on, people, get it
Yeah.
together. Why do you
Yeah.
do this if it's not for the people you work with? Come on.
Yeah. And you have a great team too,
Oh
so
my god, my team is insanely cool. Like, my co-founder is my husband, so
yeah.
immediately I'm like, "Yeah, this guy's great." Like, I married
Well,
him.
not everyone says that about their husband, but,
That's
that's
fair.
good.
That's fair. We were really early on in our relationship when we realized that we could do this thing, and we were this is a story this is the actual origin story, like, we
Yeah.
were probably 3 weeks into dating, and we were at his apartment watching TV, and there's this show that came on was 1,001 Things to Do Before You Die,
Oh, I love it.
and yeah, and it's based off a book, and they had this couple, it was on the Travel Channel, and they were the ones who were going to all these places and seeing all this cool stuff. They did this one on Hawaii, and it was like all this stuff that you should see in
Ooh.
Hawaii. Love Hawaii, oh my gosh. But yeah, they were talking about stuff to do there, and frankly, they were so obnoxious. I was like, "These people don't even seem to like each other very much, like, why are they" like, she would just, like, kinda mommy him, and he would,
Oh,
like, give her
yes.
reasons to how it is, like, that
Oh,
dynamic where you're like, "Oh
yeah.
god, come on." But at one point, Jim and I just kinda looked at each other while we were watching the show, and literally, I mean, simultaneously just went, "We could do this, okay." Like,
Yeah, and go do it. Yeah.
and that was it. That was 13 years ago, and that's what we've been doing ever since.
Yeah, didn't
So,
you guys get married just so he could come and travel with you?
yes.
Yeah, and the truth comes out.
Yes. We got married for papers. Not
Hey,
ashamed, but, it
but no,
happened.
you got married for papers, but then it lasted.
Well,
That's the thing.
yes, but I mean,
That's the thing. You actually like each other, so it's the kind of thing. Like you actually like Jim, so it's
people are
like
always like, "You got married for paper. Where is he from?" And I'm like, "America." And they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "America." And they're like, "What?" I'm confused. I'm like, "Yeah, but we were living in Spain at the time, so
exactly. It's
I
different.
had the visa, he didn't." Yeah.
It worked
Yeah.
out.
It
And
worked out. It took us 6 months. It was not easy. So I don't not
wow,
recommend it, but I don't recommend it.
that's amazing. That's amazing. So and
Oh,
then
my team. I gotta talk about my team.
you
I
talk
gotta
about
talk
your
about
team.
my
Absolutely,
team.
yeah.
My people are freaking fantastic. So, yeah, my first hire is a guy named Gary. I brought him on as a back-end developer, and
Why are all back end developers named Gary? I don't know why. I know a lot of back end developers named Gary. Anyhow,
Do
go
you
ahead.
really?
I know
I
there's a
only
lot
know
of
one
Garys.
other Gary, and it's my dad.
Oh, I
That's
know a lot of
amazing.
Garys named that are back end developers. Yeah.
Must
Oh,
just be
I say a lot. There's like 3 or 4 that I know, but still, that's 3 or 4. So
that's 2 more than I know,
there
easily.
you
So there you go.
go.
Yeah, he came on, in that capacity and then introduced me to another guy through they came in through an organization called The Last Mile. I highly, highly recommend,
Mhm.
any entrepreneurs out there who are looking to hire, take a look at The Last Mile, take a look at organizations like them. Their focus is getting people who are, incarcerated, some skills around, like, development and such. A guy who came on, Halim, also came on as a front-end developer, but then was like, "Yeah, I actually do, like, design work and graphic design," and I learned that through, Last Mile because they didn't have this originally, and I kinda went to them and said, "Look,
Wow.
this is I don't wanna do back-end development. I wanna be, like, full stack, or I wanna learn, like, the whole thing. I
Yeah.
will help design
Give
your
them a skill.
program."
Give them skills for when they come out, they can do.
Well, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and that was the whole thing was the 2 of them came on these capacities, and immediately I was like, Gary just had this mind for finance, and he was asking all the right business questions and
Wow.
stuff that I don't have that strength. I know what my
Yeah.
weaknesses are. I'm not great at
Yeah.
not great at marketing. Don't tell
Mhm.
anyone I said that, don't tell Seth. I'm not not great at finance. Also not a thing you probably wanna hear from your CEO, but I have the
But
strategy.
you hire. But that's the thing with CEOs. You hire
Yeah.
for what you do. What you're good at, and you hire for the rest.
That's it. I turned Gary into my CFO. I turned, Halim into my product managers, CIPO, whatevers. So they're doing innovation, product, finance, all that stuff that I'm
Wow.
like, "Okay, let's, do this together." And then we've got this amazing CTO, Kelly, who just I freaking can't say enough great things about him. I've known him for years, and, he really just he's one of those he worked for Google, like, invented the
Yeah.
internet, like, he's got really he's a coder's coder. Like, this man
Oh.
this
Yeah.
man is on, like, the forefront of researching technology because he is
That's
just that
awesome.
passionate about it, and I'm like,
Love
"Better
it.
you than me, man, because God bless you." I
Oh, that's
love it.
awesome.
Yeah,
So here's
security.
and then there's Jim.
And then there's our animator, Alex, as well, who's like
Oh, there you go. You got Alex, and then you got
he
Jim.
he brings the delight. He brings the
Exactly.
right?
Jim's your
And then we've got
podcast host because you have a TripBee podcast, which everyone needs to check out. What is the worst thing about being an entrepreneur? What keeps you up at night?
my team.
The same thing that the best and the worst, exactly.
I mean, here's the thing is, like, money is always gonna be the focal point, right? Like,
Mhm.
money is why we do what we do. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
not entirely, but it is a big reason why you
It's
do what
how
you
you
do.
do. It's how you can do what you want to do.
That is my thing. Again, something a lot of people probably don't wanna hear from their CEO. I'm not monetarily motivated, not for myself, like,
There you go.
personally, it's not but I want my team to make a lot of money. I want them
Yeah.
to be successful. I want them to have all the things they want in life, and I want this to be a stepping stone for whatever they wanna do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get out and do your own thing. If you wanna start your own company after this, you wanna stay with us forever,
Yeah.
that's fine too, but yeah, like
That's
yeah.
fantastic. So I don't think I've actually asked. I kind of alluded to this, but what is TripBee exactly?
Mm.
'Cause it's better than Excel, but it doesn't tell you much. What is
I
TripBee?
hope so. I hope minimally it's better than Excel.
Yeah. At
If we're not better
minimum,
than
yeah.
Excel, we're screwed.
Exactly.
No. I backronymed the word TRIP.
Mm.
So it means travel, research, and itinerary planning, which I gotta tell you,
Ooh.
I am very proud of that one. Like,
That's a
that's just
that's a good acronym. Yeah.
it's what we do. I mean, that's literally it. So the idea is, anytime people decide to take a trip somewhere, and I know this because this is a pain I feel all the time. I
Yeah.
want all my information co-located. That's just who I am. I'm
Yeah.
attention deficit. I need that stuff right there so I can see it, reference it,
Mhm.
visualize it, and go. The thing that I realized was missing in travel planning, like platforms that exist already, is there's no context. You don't have anything that tells you like where you're going or like how
And
close it is
why?
to anything, right? Or
Yeah.
why, or like, is it even worth it? What do other people think about? Like, you can
Yeah.
Yelp reviews and stuff, but that doesn't help you contextually for
It's
the
all over the
larger
place. Yeah.
right. So that was driving me insane. I'm like, "Well, I need to know this stuff. Like, I'm going to France. What does the emergency broadcast system sound like in France in case they're" right? Like, how do you
Or what's the
know
911? Because I know 911
what's
here is 911. That's code.
right.
But then it's 999, which makes even more sense in the UK.
It does not make more sense. Can I tell
It
you? They
doesn't?
get
Oh,
butt
'cause you
dialed so much. We did 911 so that people couldn't reach the thing
oh,
on
is that the reason why we did
accident.
it?
Mhm.
It's
I just
easier
found
than
that
how?
out, like a year ago,
Oh,
and I was like,
the
"Mind
more you
blown."
know. Love it. And all the young millennials and Z's will not get that reference, but yeah.
No. No,
No.
they the more you
You know. Exactly. So it's back to TripBee.
Yes,
So TripBee is sort of kind of coalesces everything into one platform and
exactly.
makes it so all of us neurodivergent people can actually travel.
And the norms too can do the
And the
thing.
norms, yeah, exactly. Those excel at TripBee, whereas we'll just pass.
The thing is, I mean, come on, how often are you in social media and you're like flipping through this stuff and you're like, "Oh, this place looks cool. Oh, I really like this." And you like it. And you
Yeah.
might
Oh,
even save it and you might even put it in a Pinterest board, but then what
who
does it
looks
do
at that
after
stuff?
that? Like,
Whoever looks at that stuff. I never go back and
no,
look. I
I
save
don't,
stuff
and
all
I
the time in
travel.
LinkedIn. I
Right,
save
like,
stuff all the time in LinkedIn, and I don't even know how to find the saves.
oh my gosh, or I was trying to find something over the week. We just had we if we have time, we may talk about this too, but we just had our team's first hackathon. So I flew everybody in
Ooh.
so that they could meet face to face for the first time because
Oh,
a
that's
couple of
fun.
people are remote and yeah, so it was really fun. But I spent the whole week trying to find a dumb video because I'm a moron when it comes to my humor. The funniest thing you can do is fall down in front of me. I will just
Oh.
laugh. Yeah. Oh,
You fall
so you
off
think
the
I'm
chair.
kidding. You think I'm kidding. I will
I even faked it and she laughed.
if you fall down and you don't hurt yourself, let me
Yeah,
caveat
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, people who get hurt, I'm like, "Oh god," but, like, if you fall
You
down and
laugh
you're
and
like
then you're like, oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry, I laughed. Yeah.
yeah, like, then I'm just like, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
laugh and then I'll be like, "Let me call the ambulance," like, "Sorry."
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, but that's the whole thing is you can't find stuff or remember where you
Hmm.
sent it or where you put it. You've got so many social media accounts. It's like, "Where did I see that again?"
Yeah.
Our objective is we wanna take all of that stuff and say, "Okay, well, let's move that data over into a map maybe and show you where all
Ooh.
these places are and get you like
Versailles is in relationship to
to Notre Dame
Charlottenburg
or exactly,
I went to
exactly.
two different. You went within the same country. I went from Versailles to Charlottenburg, which is in Berlin. I went cross borders just then. So sorry about that. I mean, I went to the two Versailles-esque thing. I went like architecturally similar,
So
but
you know where Versailles
geographically
is
different.
relative to the Taj Mahal.
Exactly. They're nowhere near their two different trips. That kind of thing.
But the elephants.
Exactly. Exactly. Why didn't go that far? Come on, give me some credit. It
I
might
love
be
it.
a 6-hour trip from one palace to the other to go to the Taj Mahal from Versailles. Come on now.
Mm. Mhm, mhm.
So
So,
Trippy sounds awesome, and it's
thank you.
in the works. Is
Yes.
it live yet, or is it? When
It's
do you
not
think
live
it?
yet. We made some really good headway this week, so there's a lot moving forward. We should have a beta. I'm not gonna
Ooh.
commit to a time frame because
No, yeah,
I
no.
yeah, that's just not good
I
for
already
me.
committed you to bi-weekly podcast, so I'm not going to
There
commit
you
you
go.
to. So maybe by the time this podcast comes out, we'll put the link to the page, the splash page, so people can at least check it out and sign up
Love
for the
it.
newsletter. That's
I
what we'll
love
do.
it. That's
So here's a
great.
question for you: what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time? Now, for video, her eyes just bugged out. She's like, "What?"
Well, it's funny because I went both figurative and literal. I'm like,
You
"Oh
can go
god."
both.
Oh,
Everyone, you can go both. You can go both. You can go singular. You can do whatever you want.
wow. I mean, for sure my phone. I hate to
Yeah.
say it, but, like, I am that person, like, you gotta have it.
Hmm.
And if anything, it's just because I need to, like, know where everyone is and what's happening and, like, just be
Oh
on top
God,
of stuff, and, yeah, I don't
you're
wanna
the
but
CEO for
also
crying out
personal.
loud.
Yeah, well, come on. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say that's probably the most important thing. I don't
Yeah.
like that that's the most important
Well,
thing, like,
then what theoretical, metaphysical, all those iticals?
I mean, for me, lots and lots and lots of confidence,
Yeah.
like, manufactured. It's funny because I was like, humility or confidence? I'm already, like, in the humility side, like, a little strong. Like, I'm trying to move the other way
Yeah.
and get a little more my motto, my mantra for this
Yeah.
year is stop second guessing yourself.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's yeah, and it's worked. I'm not kidding, like,
Good.
it's very strange. Whatever my instinct is has worked very well for me so far.
That's
So,
fantastic. That's
if I keep
awesome.
that in practice, we'll see. So, yeah, I don't know. That's
That's awesome. So people can find you at tripbee.com.
Yes.
We can find you as Adelaide Braddock. That's ADE Lade Braddock. Maybe I'll actually finally learn that once I can find you. Jeez. I
think it's
swear,
okay
right
against.
before the show, I was looking for her. I'm like, where is she? I know she's on here. You also, we can't ignore, you by the Business Journal in Philly, you were 40 under 40.
Thank you.
That's
I just slid in under the deadline too. I was 39 and like 3/4.
Wow, you really were 40 under 40.
Mm-hmm.
Just barely, like bumping your head. Boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
Exactly, but that's awesome. And
Yeah,
did you
thank
get a
you.
big
Thank you.
party? Did you get a nice big plaque and stuff?
I got a plaque. It happened, we're still in like not lockdown phase, but we were like, yeah, it was very awkward.
Pseudo. You're
Yes.
1 foot out, 1 foot in, ready to jump
Right.
back into the house in case someone coughed.
Right. Exactly.
Someone coughed, you
Exactly.
dive head first back into your apartment.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was really cool. My mentor at the time actually nominated me, and I was, 'cause I told her, I was like, "I wanna win an award. I think I'm ready. I'd like to win an award." And she was like, "All right." And then she nominated me for that one. I was like, "Okay,
Well,
that
go
works."
big or go home, right?
Go big or go home. That's actually her mantra in life. I love it.
I love it. Adelaide Braddock. That's with
Mhm.
an E in there. You can find you
Yep.
at TripBee.com. And this has
Yep.
been so much fun.
I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm also TripBee Addy everywhere,
Oh,
ADI.
Trippy Addy,
TripBee
ADI.
Addy. Yes.
So, on that note, we'll see everyone next time. That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please review us in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps other podcast listeners find our show. If you're looking for other podcasts in the marketing space, look no further than the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.
You may know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? Danielle Wiley hosts a great podcast called The Art of Sway. Danielle, tell us what you talk about on the show.
The Art of Sway brings listeners inside the world of marketing as seen through the lens of influence. So each week I chat with an expert guest for a lively discussion about connecting ideas with audiences in an attempt to uncover all the ways influence impacts how and what we discover, purchase, and recommend to each other.
Wow. And where can people subscribe?
Go to theartofswaypodcast.com, find the show at marketingpodcasts.net, or search for The Art of Sway wherever you get your podcasts.
You heard her. Go subscribe.
This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.